I've been needing to find a new apartment, which has not been easy with credit as bad as mine. Luckily, I found cosigning.com. They connected me with a cosigner who helped me get my dream apartment for me and my dog. I just paid a small fee and was able to move in fast. Get the cosigner you need for the apartment you want. Check out cosigning.com today.
You know, something about this ding dong ditch, the whole ding dong ditch shooter situation, it's not sitting right with me. It doesn't. And I'm a homeowner in the Houston area. I live in the Galleria. I live in a small gated community in an extremely well-to-do area with private security, etc. Why do we need all this security? Because it's dangerous outside. You do have to watch your neighbors. This took place in the east side of Houston, not so people friendly. It's not one of those areas where they have private security and tons of police. In Texas, the way it works is the way it should work in all of the United States. As an American, you are supposed to be your own first line of defense. You're not supposed to lean heavily on law enforcement to come save you. They're not superheroes. You're not supposed to expect them to risk their life to save you, your kids, and your wife. You're supposed to save them yourself. That's why we have the right to bear arms. And this is Texas. We have the make my day law. We have, if you see someone even breaking into your neighbor's house, you can execute them. Someone breaking into your neighbor's car, your car. We live in a polite society in Texas. In Houston, especially, if you are committing a crime, you absolutely have the right to the person who's committing the crime, take them out. This whole situation just doesn't sit right with me. And I hate the fact that so many people are cheering this on when it's obvious that they just want us to be so afraid to defend ourselves. It's like they want to recreate the Daniel Penny effect in New York in a place like Texas where everyone knows that self-defense and property protection is paramount. They want you to be so afraid to defend yourselves that we turn into Californians, and that cannot happen. That goes against the spirit of being a Texan, of being a part of being an American in general. So, but I want to let's listen to the rest of the story.
Death of an 11-year-old boy playing ding dong ditch. Julian Guzman was running away from a home after ringing the doorbell when police say Gonzalo Leon Jr. fired several shots. Guzman collapsed a few blocks away from the home, and medics rushed that boy to the hospital where he died the next day.
Let's not show pictures of him, looking like a kid. You got to think about it. In the real world, people use kids for everything. People where I'm from in California, they give kids guns. And they tell kids to go shoot people who are their enemies or who are their targets who they want to rob. And you know what they tell the kids? They tell the kids to go do it because they know that because of the juvenile laws, you're not going to get much time in jail. So you're going to go to juvenile hall, you're going to get your stripes, you're going to earn your keep. You'll be one of us. People use kids for everything under the sun, just to kind of test the security systems to see what will happen. And then there's something that's kind of like plausible deniability, right? If they send the kid and the kid gets caught, well, I was just playing the game. I was playing ding dong ditch. This just happened in another state, actually, where they were playing a game and they were kicking this man's door, and he started shooting through the door, killed to arrest that man. And I think they did arrest him. Actually, I want to see if we can find that video. Actually, let's see. Man charged after kids kicking door. Let's see. This is when they were trying to pretend it was a TikTok tower.
Poor child, poor kid.
So listen to all these people, poor child, poor kids. It was a TikTok challenge. So so now we're arresting people who are reacting to challenges. So lives and the safety of my property. I'm supposed to just risk it because you want to do pranks, and because what if it's not a prank? But what if the people actually think that you're not at home because they just ding dong ditched you a couple of times, right? And no one answered and no one started shooting at them. So they go back to their crew and they say, hey, no one's there. We went by there twice, no one showed up. Now these people burst into your home, but you are there. And now from just being a simple home invasion robbery, it's a home invasion hostage situation where now your wife and your children and you are tied up, and you got these scared young men, depending on what background they're from. Now they're contemplating on what they're going to do with your life. Are we going to let them live or are we not? They've seen our faces, come in and the law enforcement's on the way. They have no idea. So now the lives of your entire family are in these people's hands because you didn't want to react too abruptly and get called a racist and overreact to a kid playing a prank. How the fuck are you supposed to know that it's a prank? Dude, this sounds like somebody steals a car. He's 12 years old. He runs over a pedestrian and smashes into a group of people on the street. And then people go to stop the person. Oh no, he's only 12 years old. What the fuck difference does it make? This 12-year-old was doing things that 12-year-olds should not be doing. The 12-year-old is putting other people in danger and they're forcing society to react. You handle your kids or we will. That's the way I was raised. That's the way it goes in this country. We cannot just be carte blanche when it comes to how we respond. We can't do that.
That got killed, and of course what happened to him. I mean, such a stupid prank, and look at the results. Family's ruined. So, very sad. Hope this does not happen, and I hope the kids learn a lesson.
But the kids didn't learn a lesson because 11-year-olds don't watch the news, but also 11-year-olds are not out at 11 at night banging on doors of people that don't even live on their same street, who they don't know, who they don't have friends to live there. See, when I was, a kid, we would do pranks on people we know. We would TP our friends' houses or guys we know, other kids. What the fuck? Are you crazy? What if one of these people is paranoid, has PTSD, former military person, or it's just a person who's just seen what happens to others in the public, and they are just scared to death of what can happen to them. And they take security and they take safety seriously. You don't necessarily have to be a vigilante to want to protect yourself because you know what kind of threats are really out there. Again, this is not India. Remember, this is like 2 months ago. This was all over the news, over the country. They want you to be so afraid to defend your home that eventually you just decide to give up your weapons and say, you know what, whatever happens, happens. Nothing in my house is worth me taking a life. But aren't your kids in your house? What about your significant other? Hey, my dogs are in my house. I'm not letting someone come in here and harm them. You cannot let these people shame you into letting your guard down. That's my point.
Tyler Butler is 27 years old. He is charged with second-degree murder.
He doesn't look a day younger than 50. I would say 48, but 27 is crazy.
Malicious wounding and using a firearm in the commission of a felony. He's accused of shooting at 3 teenagers behind the home he grew up in.
So not only does he live there with his brothers, but also his parents, who are likely older. He's the young, strong man of the house right now. His father's probably up there in age. He's doing what the hell he's supposed to do. He's protecting his home, from potential intruders. Remember, these people, when there's no response, when they don't think that you're going to do anything, they're just like bullies. They're going to come back because you're what they call low-hanging fruit. You're an easy target. People choose soft targets. No one's going to go back to this house to try to do a home invasion or a prank or whatever. Because let me tell you, they only call it a prank when they get caught. Before they're caught, it's not a prank. They had a mission. Watch.
The shooting happened around 3 a.m. Saturday.
I mean, you're a bunch of kids playing a prank. Who's pranking somebody at 3 a.m.? No, you got caught trying to break into my house. It was convenient for you not to be prosecuted while your friends were shot by pretending you were pranking. But no, you guys are trying to break into my house. I think the same thing happens here in Houston. I don't think this man should be in jail for $1 million bond. I think that he had a liberal judge who gave him a high bond. I can see that with enough reasoning from if he has a good legal defense, and eventually once he talks to the district attorney and they look over his background, they're going to ask, okay, so why did you run? What do you want me to do? I'm scared. I see how you guys treat people who defend their homes. Look at what you did to the dude in Maryland, in Virginia. They arrested him. So what are you going to do to me? The guy was afraid, he was scared. And they're like, well, he shouldn't have came out of his house. How are you going to tell me how to respond? I had to respond the way I felt appropriate to protect myself and my family. Even if I live alone, I have to protect myself. Why, as a little kid, why I don't know his family, why he wasn't going to every house, why did he go to my house? Everyone, that's the thing that just pisses me off. Everyone wants to assume that everything is so innocent. Why? Everything is so innocent, but then when it comes to other people, it's not innocent. It's like they pick and choose. Had this been a white kid that was doing ding dong ditch, and he was shot by a black person or an illegal, then they would have said, oh, he was probably in the wrong place, the wrong time, blah, 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 yourself. They're going to pretend that this was over some other, it could be over something else, just something that is inconsequential and nonsensical. And that's why they keep wanting to show you this picture. But again, it's 11 at night. I don't know how old you are. I don't know your backstory. You could just be a short man, a short fucking criminal. There's tons of them in prison. And you're banging on my door. You're ringing my doorbell at 3 in the morning. At 11 at night. Why? You shouldn't. Handle your kids or we will handle them for you. That's the way it works. You don't want to keep your kids out of trouble? Okay, fine. The police will deal with them. If they survive it, they'll put pressure on the public. Do your job as a parent.
Tragically, they picked a house to do it potentially 3 different times in the span of about 15 or 20 minutes.
Wait a minute. So you mean to tell me they were repeatedly going to the same house, ringing the doorbell and running, but as an adult, I'm not supposed to think that someone's case, I think that they're going to tell some other people, hey, no one's home, and I'm supposed to just sit here and wait to become a victim? You're out of your goddamn minds if you think that that makes sense. Self-preservation is pretty much the number one thing that this country stands for. That's the reason why we have the right to bear arms literally written into our Constitution. And we will. And it's not just for tyrannical government, it's to protect our arm. I'm from California. We have nothing but home invasion robberies. We actually have a thing, it's called flocking. They call it meet the flockers. And what they do is they look for certain homes. And how do you think they know which homes to break into and when? They send kids, they send scouts to do ding dong ditch, or to go over there and pretend that there's a leak, or they wear a vest and a hat and pretend like they work in your security defenses to see if anyone's there, or to see if you have an alarm, to see if anything's going to happen. 3 times in a row, these kids chose this one particular house. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. I don't buy it at all. His age, for me, is not an excuse. Even if you're with your cousin should be held accountable for telling you to go do something like that. Again, if this was a car accident and a little kid was driving a car and they hurt a bunch of people, no one's going to say, oh, well, he's young. Let him get away with it. Slap on the wrist. Fuck no. Him and his parents are going to be in charge and be in trouble, because why were you not monitoring your child? Where are the parents? I'm supposed to be the parent. I'm supposed to know your kid is a... What kind of prank is this? In all my years, I've never came across these types of pranks where people are just repeatedly, or basically, haha, let me pretend I'm about to break into your house. Gotcha. If you don't get the fuck out of here, that doesn't even make... There's no logic behind that. That doesn't even make sense at all. Not to me. Not to me.
The third time, the homeowner was laying in wait for him to come back.
Wow. During the search of the suspects, police say they found multiple assault rifles throughout the house.
Now look at his area that he lives in. Unmanicured growth of grass and weeds in the area. He lives low-key in the hood. He did the right thing. He has guns and weapons, and he laid in wait. He was waiting for them to come back, waiting for them to break in. That's exactly what he was doing, as he should. Now, he could have called the police and said, hey, there's people trying to break into my house. But again, you shouldn't have to rely on the police. But I think if he would have called the police, at least he could have said, he would have had a record of the fact that he felt threatened. But these people basically terrorizing him because he doesn't know who these people are. I'd be scared to fucking death if someone's in my house in Houston, someone's banging on my door, ringing my doorbell in the middle of the night. I go downstairs and look, and there's no one there. I'd be like, what the fuck is going on? Either they're trying to distract me, or they're testing my security to see if I'm home. Or sometimes, what if people just want to know if you're armed or not? And what do you think they're going to do when they know there's a house potentially with some valuables in there and they don't have a gun? It's sweet, tasty, delectable. You're what they call lunch. You're on the menu because you can't defend yourself. We have arms and we go into your house and you don't, you're fucked. Now you're tied up. You're going to give the pins to your ATM cards. And it's, you know, these people that are breaking into your home, they can just flip a coin and decide what they're going to do to your wife, your daughters, your sons. It happens. People get tied up. And guess what those people didn't have? What God gives you an extra 20 seconds to make it to your firearm. That's the difference for you between life and death, between being a victim versus being a survivor. This is a clear-cut argument that can be made to the district attorney, especially in a state like Texas. You could petition higher courts. This is right now a knee-jerk reaction because they want to scare people into not defending themselves. But in no way you know this kid was 11 and he walked out of his house. They're running down. You don't know where they're going or if they're going to come back. You don't know. I don't know. Everyone's not going to be a rational purpose. Some people are not going to take the risk. It's too risky. What if they come back and you're not ready? Or you're not home? but your kids are there. Your wife's at work. They came here 3 times. It's 11 at night. Nobody was home. And they thought it was a decoy. You got to think about it, dude. People break into homes and they tie people up and then they execute them sometimes. Do you want to take that risk? No. You must be able to defend yourself. People need to take care of their kids or we will do it for them.
Millions of dollars in gifts, and police are still searching for the suspect. Now we're hearing from the newlyweds. Fox 11's Gina Silva reports from Irvine.
That newlywed couple is devastated. They are asking for the public's help in identifying the man who walked off with thousands of dollars in stolen wedding gifts.
To hear that someone came in, completely violated our privacy, took something and ran off, it's just something that it's hard to put into words how we feel.
It was supposed to be the perfect night. Nadine and George Farrah dancing at their wedding reception in Glendale, having the time of their lives. But as the newlyweds celebrated, police say this man was planning a crime when he entered the Renaissance Banquet Hall in Glendale late Saturday night.
Mel entered the location and hung around the area for about an hour or two, and then he was seen on camera going to the collection box, grabbing it, and then exiting the location.
It took a second to process what we were being told, and then we immediately tried to run after him, but by that point it had been 30 seconds or a minute, and he was already gone.
Says the teens were attempting to burglarize the butler's house. 18-year-old Massaponax High School senior Michael Bosworth was shot and killed. One of the 2 juveniles with him was shot and wounded. They tell investigators they were videotaping themselves doing a ding-dong ditch as part of a TikTok challenge. Now, in court documents, Tyler Buck, and now making his living through sports betting, I met with a neighbor here who showed me video from in front of his home not long before the shooting down the street. And the video, he wouldn't share it with us yet, but it shows 3 teenagers approaching his house and not ringing the doorbell and running, but banging and kicking his garage door.
You got me completely misunderstood. If you think that I'm going to risk my life in order because I'm not sure if someone's playing a prank or if they're busting in my house to kill me. If you think that that's the American spirit, oh, you should love everyone, even the home invaders. Matter of fact, just give them all your stuff, and if they want to rape your wife, let them. She'll get over it. It's only emotional trauma. She has sex every day. That shouldn't be a big deal. That's not a good enough reason to kill nobody. That's exactly what these liberal animals will say to you. We cannot coexist because they look at the world ideologically completely different than we do, and it's just not going to work. It's not going to work. I didn't know people were this insane until recently. And there are other people that are just like, I don't agree with you. Oh, there's no reason to. Yeah, there's a fucking reason for everything. There is a reason to chase an 11-year-old down and shoot him. For one thing, you don't know he's 11. For 2, he shouldn't be at your place, knocking, ringing your doorbell. These kids should not have been kicking this man's garage and his front door. They shouldn't have been doing it. Now, how I respond, you know what? I'd rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6. I'll just leave it there. Like and subscribe, share the video if you agree or you disagree, leave a comment, and we'll revisit it. I'll do another segment about this probably tomorrow because we have like a bunch of other topics to go over, but this is just insane. Free the Ding Dong Ditch, donate. I'm actually going to try to see how many people I can find that will donate. If he does have a legal defense already, I'll donate because, and every little bit, every little bit helps. Let's see, what's his name, actually?
Let me go a shot.
It's 42-year-old Gonzalo Leon.
Gonzalo Leon Jr., 42 years old, set up for his defense fund. I will promote it, I'll share it, and I'll donate to it. Not because I hate 11-year-old kids, but because I can understand as a homeowner, as a man, and you don't know what that threat is outside. It's literally, it's too risky to just say and just assume that it's really not a threat and it's just something innocent like a prank. That's too risky. I can't take that risk. Now, when you have other lives that are depending on you, and your unwillingness to act can literally just mean that they're not going to wake up tomorrow. We can't take those risks with our families. These are not the days and times where everything is just safe. You have to create your own safety. This man did what he had to do. And if you don't agree with it, leave a message and explain, and we can have this conversation. I'm more than happy to have it with anybody, even you, Anton. Thank you. Like, subscribe, share the video, and I'll be back on shortly with more topics, and we'll go from there.
I've been needing to find a new apartment, which has not been easy with credit as bad as mine. Luckily, I found cosigning.com. They connected me with a cosigner who helped me get my dream apartment for me and my dog. I just paid a small fee and was able to move in fast. Get the cosigner you need for the apartment you want. Check out cosigning.